Hi, let's talk for a moment about this idea that a continuous glucose monitor, or a CGM, can be used to obtain better skin health as well as better overall health. I believe it can. Let me tell you why. So we have a rule around here. I call it the blood glucose no change rule. That is, we try to keep blood glucose at all times below 100 milligrams per deciliter, or even better, below 90 milligrams per deciliter. And that's fasting as well as after a meal. So every time your blood glucose exceeds 100, actually 90, but more commonly 100 milligrams per deciliter, you irreversibly glycate proteins. And all that means is you change the structure of proteins in your body. Collagen in the dermal layer of your skin, as well as other parts of the body, such as bone, lining of arteries, cartilage in joints like knees and hips. Collagen is very glycation prone. When it becomes glycated, it fragments and then gets reabsorbed. And that's why people who get a lot of damage to their dermal collagen from sun, for instance, will reabsorb the collagen and develop crepey skin and fine wrinkles. And so not glycating is a real advantage. Well, if you're taking the Gut to Glow, you're getting already astaxanthin, which blocks some of that sun damage. If you're taking vitamin D as part of our program, that also helps block sun damage. Those things help. But you can go even further by not having glycation. Now, in the old days, we had to do finger stick blood glucoses, which everybody hated, including me, because it hurts. And, your finger throbs for a few hours after you do a finger stick. So I have about 4 or 5 devices. I only use them very rarely because it's just so unpleasant. Well, these new devices, the CGM devices, have become very inexpensive and very available. They were several $100s. You had to go through your doctor to get a prescription. Well, now there's devices that are direct to consumer and relatively inexpensive. I'm actually wearing mine right now, right here. I'm sorry, it's beneath my sweater. But it's the Lingo device, Lingo, from Abbott. It was very easy to use. The instructions are crystal clear. It comes with an app that's very helpful. And what you want to do is see where your fasting glucose is. Ideally, 90 milligrams per deciliter or less. 60 to 90 is the ideal blood glucose. And then you can see what happens with various activities, with a glass of wine, with eating specific meals. You can see. So if your blood glucose goes from 90, say, to 145, you're glycating like crazy, and you're causing accelerated aging of your skin, joints, and other parts of your body. So what we try to do is, let's say you start at 90, you try to keep it at 90 or less, certainly no higher than 100 milligrams per deciliter. Now, these devices are not perfectly accurate. No device is. They're about as accurate as the finger stick devices, which is about 10 milligrams plus or minus. In other words, 90 is really somewhere between 80 and 100 milligrams. So except that there's some imprecision, they're still pretty good. And they're no better nor worse than finger sticks. They're about the same. So keep that in mind. So if you have a blood glucose of 100, it's really 90 to 110, okay? The more you keep that blood glucose, both fasting and after meals, at 100 milligrams per deciliter or less, or even better, 90 milligrams per deciliter or less, you're not glycating collagen, you're slowing the phenomenon of aging in all those body parts. Now, it really helps to do the entire program. Don't eat foods that raise blood glucose, wheat, grains, and sugars. Take our collection of nutrients that amplify your response to insulin, keeping your blood glucose low. Vitamin D, magnesium, omega-3 fatty acids, iodine. We address our microbiome because the microbiome is a major contributor to blood glucose and insulin resistance. And even better, think about getting exposure to sunlight in the morning, or if you're living in a latitude like I do, where it's cold and gloomy much of the winter, and you can't get outside, or it doesn't help to be outside, get yourself a red light, an inexpensive red light. It shouldn't cost you more than $100 for a 670 nanometer wavelength red light, and that also improves your blood glucose. So there's more to this, but know that just by getting a CGM, you're going to have incredible insights into this process of glycation and thereby the ability to slow the phenomenon of aging, including that in your skin.